Good morning, students. In previous class, we discussed about what are wavefronts, what are the shapes of wavefronts. Okay. So, what are the types of wavefronts? There are three types of wavefronts: spherical wavefront, cylindrical wavefront, and plane wavefront. Now, we are going to discuss about the rays of light. So, what do you mean by rays of light here? These are the straight line drawn perpendicular to the wavefronts. Okay, see here. These are the spherical wavefronts which are originating from point source. Always the waves can be propagating in forward direction. Means here, let us assume it is a source of light now. Around this source of light, light waves are propagating in which direction? Forward direction. Okay. So now these light waves can be propagating in which direction? Forward direction. That can be shown by drawing the straight line perpendicular to the wavefront here. Then these straight lines are called rays of light. These straight lines are called rays of light. Okay. What are rays of light here? These are the straight lines which are drawn perpendicular to the wavefronts, which represent the direction of propagation of wave. Then we are going to draw the rays of light for the converging wavefront. Converging wavefront means the waves meet at a point. Those waves are called converging wavefronts. These are the waves. These waves converge at a point. Now these waves are called converging wavefronts. So we are going to draw the direction of convergence of these spherical wavefronts. Okay, all the spherical wavefronts converge at this point. Now these wavefronts are called converging spherical wavefronts. Converging spherical wavefronts. SWF. SWF is nothing but here it is a spherical wavefront. Okay. Now we are going to draw the rays of light for the diverging wavefronts. Means here the wavefronts which are divergent from a point source. These are the spherical wavefronts. The spherical wavefronts are divergent from a point source. Then now these are the divergent from a point source in all directions. Again, these are the straight lines which are drawn perpendicular to the wavefronts, which can show the direction of propagation of the wave. Then this is for the diverging spherical wavefronts. Okay, but at the large distance from the source of light, the wavefronts are planar. These are the planar wavefronts. These are the small part of the spherical wavefront or cylindrical wavefront from the source of light, which is at large distance now. Then these are the rays of light. So these rays of light can show the direction of propagation of the light wave. Okay. So this is about the rays of light now. Next we are going to discuss about the very important topic. So see here, this is the plane wavefront. Plane wavefront. Now next we are going to discuss about the very important topic from the chapter wave optics, that is the Huygens principle. So what Huygens principle tells here, how should be the wave propagate in forward direction by using geometry. Okay. Huygens explained how should be the wave is propagated in forward direction, and also how to obtain the position of the new wavefront by using geometry. That was explained by Huygens. Now let us discuss Huygens principle. Now see, let us study the Huygens principle. What about Huygens principle now? Huygens explained the geometrical method, means it is a mathematical concept. Okay, so Huygens explained the geometrical method to obtain the position of new wavefront. Okay, geometrical method to obtain the position of new wavefront. Position of new wavefront. Okay, let us understand what is Huygens principle. Now, see here, it is a point source now. This point source can produce which type of wavefronts? Spherical wavefronts. I will take the section of the spherical wavefront, means a part of the spherical wavefront, because here the spherical wavefronts are propagating in r direction. But I will take here section of the spherical wavefront. Section means here a part of the spherical wavefront. Okay, so now let us take it is the given wavefront, and these are the points on the given wavefront. Okay, so each point on the given wavefront acts as source of secondary waves. So each point on the given wavefront acts as source of secondary waves, because these points can produce the next wave. Okay, that is why each point on the given wavefront acts as source of secondary waves. See here, the light travels the distance, that is c into delta t in the time t. The light travels the distance. This is a light wave now. The light wave travels the distance d is equal to c into delta t. How it is obtained here? By definition of velocity or speed. What is the definition of speed here? The distance traveled divided by time taken. So time taken is delta t and distance traveled is d, and c is the speed of light now. Then the distance traveled is equal to c into delta t. Then see here, so what is the distance traveled by the light in the time delta t here? That is d is equal to c into delta t. See here, the light will be travel distance in the forward direction. Then what is the distance here? Each distance is c into delta t. It is also c into delta t. C into delta t. Okay. So I will take these are the points as A, B, and C. Here each point on the given wavefront acts as source of secondary wave, because these points can produce the next wave here in forward direction. Okay. So by taking c into delta t as radius and A as the center, we have to draw the sphere. I will draw the sphere here. C into delta t as the radius and A as the center. Let us draw the sphere. And same here. B as the center and C into delta t as the radius. Okay. And one more. C as the center and C into delta t as the radius. Okay. So we are going to draw the tangent to the secondary wavelets. These are called secondary wavelets that use the position of new wavefront. A surface touching the secondary wavelets tangentially use the position of new wavefront. Okay, so it is the given wavefront. AB is the given wavefront, and A dash B dash is the secondary wavefront. Then in which direction this wave can be propagating here? This wave can be propagating in forward direction. For the next wave, this is the primary wavefront. So see here, for this A dash B dash, AB is the primary wavefront and A dash B dash be the secondary wavefront. For the next wavefront, A dash B dash is the primary wavefront and A double dash B double dash is the secondary wavefront, because always the wave is propagating in which direction? Forward direction. Okay, it is the Huygens principle. Then what do you mean by Huygens principle? What is the statement for Huygens principle? Once again listen here. Each point of the given wavefront at any instant, I will take this instant as t now. At any instant means at any time. At the time t, we are going to take the wavefront, that is AB, and each point of the given wavefront acts as the source of secondary wavelets. Okay. So after certain time means delta t, after time delta t, the light should be travel the distance c into delta t. Means each point should be travel the distance c into delta t now. So now by taking the c into delta t as radius and every point on the given wavefront as the center, draw the spheres. Okay. And now we are going to draw a surface touching tangentially to the secondary wavelets that gives the position of the new wavefront. Okay. So what is the statement now? Now according to Huygens principle, according to Huygens principle, first one, we are going to take two statements here. First statement, each point on the given wavefront is taken as primary wavefront because that can produce this secondary wave. Okay, each point on the given wavefront, it is also called primary wavefront, acts as source of secondary wavelets or secondary waves. Source of secondary wavelets. And these secondary wavelets are spread out in all directions with the speed of light here. Because light can be propagating means what is the speed of the light? That can be represented by c here. Okay, so these secondary wavelets can be send out the disturbance in all directions with the speed of light now. What is the second statement here? So see here, these secondary wavelets, spread out disturbance in all directions. But here we are going to take a section of the spherical wavefront, means part of the spherical wavefront. But here light waves are propagating in all directions. Okay, in such a manner, in all directions with the speed of light. With the speed c, I will take with the speed c now. Okay. Next, what is the second statement here? The surface touching the tangentially to the secondary wavelets gives the position of new wavefront. So, what is the second statement here? The surface touching tangentially. The surface touching the tangentially is called envelope. Okay, it is called envelope. So, for these two now, A dash B dash is the secondary wavefront, AB is the primary wavefront. Remember this one. And again, I will draw here. It is also tangent drawn to the secondary wavelets, but this is called backward wavefront and this is called forward wavefront. Okay, but here always the wavefront should be propagating in which direction? Forward direction. Okay, from the source of light. The surface touching tangentially the secondary wavelets gives the position of new wavefront. Gives the position of new wavefront, and it is the Huygens principle now. So what Huygens principle tells here? So Huygens explained that it is a geometrical method to obtain the position of the new wavefront in the which direction? In the forward direction. It is a backward wavefront and it is a forward wavefront and it is the given wavefront. Okay. So for A double dash B double dash, A dash B dash will be the primary wavefront and A double dash B double dash will be the secondary wavefront. Means the wave is propagating in which direction? Forward direction. Next we are going to discuss about the reflection of the wavefronts by the plane reflecting surface. No? Means plane mirror. Okay. So reflection of plane wave, reflection of plane wave by the plane reflecting surface, means it is called plane mirror. The plane reflecting surface using Huygens theory, using Huygens wave theory. Using Huygens wave theory, and for theoretical purpose it is very important. We are going to discuss about law of reflection here, not law of refraction. We are going to discuss about law of reflection of plane wave by the plane wave. Now let us consider the ray diagram for the reflection of plane wave by the plane mirror. So it is a plane mirror. So one side is polished, this side is polished and this side is reflecting. If the plane wavefront AB is incident on the reflecting surface here, it is a AB now. AB is the plane wavefront. The direction of incidence can be shown by the ray of light. In this direction, the light is incident here. Okay, same here. In this direction, the light is incident on the mirror. Okay. So by using ray concept, so if the light incident at the point A now, the light reflects at the point again at the A. Okay. So here it is the normal. Then it is the angle of incidence I and it is the angle of reflection R. Okay. So the incident ray and reflected ray both are in same medium because it is a reflection of light, not refraction of light. But it is a plane wavefront. AB is the plane wavefront, incident plane wavefront. It is a incident plane wavefront. Okay. So what is the angle of incidence for the incident plane wavefront? That is I. So here we are going to take the angle of incidence between the incident plane wavefront and the reflecting surface, that gives the angle of incidence. But in case of ray concept of light, the angle between incident ray and normal is called angle of incidence. But in case of wave optics, means in case of wave concept, the angle between incident wavefront and the reflecting surface is called angle of incidence now. Okay. So the time taken by the secondary wavelet at B to reach the C now, that is tau. Time taken by the secondary wavelet at B to reach the point C on the mirror, that is tau. Then what is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelet at B to C now? That is B into tau. Because the speed of light in this medium can be taken as B now. The speed of light in the given medium can be taken as V now, then V into tau. So V into tau gives the distance traveled by the secondary wavelet at B to C. Okay. So BC is equal to B into tau. So what is BC is equal to B into tau? It is the distance traveled by the wavefront. Distance traveled by the wavefront in time tau. Okay. Already we know that how to find the distance if we know the speed and time by using the definition of speed. What is the definition of speed? Speed is nothing but distance traveled. What is the distance traveled by the wavefront from B to C here? That is BC. BC divided by BC divided by time taken, that is a tau. Then BC is equal to V into tau. So by using this concept now, in the same time, the secondary wavelet at A undergo reflection with the same distance. Okay. So what is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelet at B to C now? From B to C now, that is a V into tau. In the same time, the secondary wavelet at A undergo reflection and it travels the distance how much? That is also V into tau. Because the angle of, the incident ray and reflected ray both are in same medium. Okay. By taking the V into tau as a radius and A as the center, I will draw the sphere. Take the A as the center and V into tau as the radius. Okay. Then draw the sphere. Then we will get the reflected wavefront. So it is, I will take the part of the sphere now. It is this sphere now. By taking the A as the center, I do V into tau as the radius, draw the sphere, then you will get the reflected wavefront. Then I will draw the tangent from C to the sphere. Okay, it is, I will take E now. C is the reflected wavefront and AB is the incident wavefront. The angle made by the reflected wavefront with respect to the reflecting surface is called angle of reflection. Okay, it's called angle of reflection and it is a reflected wavefront. And it is a reflected wavefront. So once again listen here. Whenever the AB is incident on the reflecting plane surface now, the wavefront will be moved from B to C in the time tau and it will cover the distance how much? That is BC. That BC is equal to how much? V into tau. In the same time only, at the same time only, the secondary wavelet at A undergo reflection and it travels the distance again V into tau, because the incident ray and reflected ray both are in same direction. Means here the speed does not change. Medium is same here. Speed does not change now. And distance traveled is same, that is V into tau. Taking this V into tau as the radius and A as the center, I will draw the sphere. If we are going to draw the sphere now, so we are going to draw the tangent from C to sphere now. We will get the reflected wavefront and it is a reflected plane wavefront. So BC and AE both are same here. What about AE? AE is also V into tau. But it is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelet at the A from A to E. From A to E, that is a V into tau. It is after reflection. Okay. Then by using the triangles, what are those triangles? It is 90 degree now. It is also 90 degree. Okay. Then by using the triangles, first I will take the triangle ABC. From the triangle ABC. From the triangle ABC. Okay. So we are going to find the angle of incidence. What is angle of incidence here? Once again, it is the angle between incident wavefront and reflecting surface, that is the angle of incidence. Okay. So sin I is equal to what is the angle of incidence here? That is a BAC. Angle BAC is the angle of incidence here. Angle BAC is the angle of incidence. And what about angle of reflection now? Angle ECA. Angle ECA. ECA. Okay, it is the angle of reflection. That can be taken as R here. Then sin I is equal to, what is sin I here? Opposite side divided by hypotenuse. For the I, it is the opposite side and it is the adjacent side and it is a hypotenuse. Which is the opposite side? BC is the opposite side. And which is the hypotenuse here? Hypotenuse is AC. Hypotenuse is AC. See here in the triangle ABC, BC is opposite side to the angle of incidence and BA is adjacent side to the angle of incidence, and AC is hypotenuse for the angle of incidence now. Okay, so opposite side divided by hypotenuse is nothing but that is a sine. Okay, then BC is nothing but here V into tau divided by AC. I will call this equation number 1. Then next we are going to find the angle of reflection. Now we obtained the angle of incidence. Next we are going to find the angle of reflection. How to find the angle of reflection? By using the triangle, that is ABC. From the triangle AEC. From the triangle AEC. Okay. So sin R is equal to so in case of the triangle AEC, which is the opposite side to the angle of reflection, that is AE, and which is hypotenuse here, that is AC, and which is adjacent side here, that is EC. Okay, so see here once again, in the triangle AEC, for the angle of reflection R, opposite side is AE, adjacent side is EC, and hypotenuse is AC. Then opposite side divided by hypotenuse, opposite side is AE and hypotenuse is AC again. It is AC. Then what about AE? AE is again V into tau. V into tau divided by AC. And it is equation number 2. From equations 1 and 2, we concluded that right hand sides are equal. Then right hand sides are equal now. Left hand side must be equal now. That is sin I is equal to sin R. Means this R is equal to R. Means angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Hence, the plane waves also obey the law of reflection of light. What is the law of reflection of light? The angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So this is about the reflection of plane wave by the plane reflecting surface using the Huygens wave theory. Waves also obey the law of reflection of light. Not only ray, waves also obey the law of reflection of light. Okay. So here AEC and ABC are called congruent triangles. In the congruent triangles, these angles are always equal. Means angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Then how to construct the reflected wavefront here? We have to draw the sphere. So sphere of radius V into tau and A as the center. Then we will get the reflected wavefront. And incident wavefront and reflected wavefront both are in same direction. Sorry, same medium. So now we are going to discuss about the refraction of plane waves by the Huygens wave theory. Refraction of plane waves by using Huygens wave theory. For the refraction of light, there must be two media, both media having different refractive indices. So the medium which having the low refractive index is called rarer medium. The medium which having the high refractive index is called denser medium. Okay. By using that concept, we are going to derive the law of refraction of light. What is the law of refraction of light? It is called Snell's law. Sin I by sin R is equal to mu2 by mu1 or n2 by n1. Okay. Now let us consider once again. It is a refracting surface. I will take this refracting surface as Mn. Mn is the refracting surface. For example, the interface between air and water. Okay, water is the denser and air is the rarer. Now, the plane wavefront incident on the interface between two media, and this plane wavefront is incident at A. Here AB is the plane wavefront. Now the direction of incidence can be shown by the ray of light. That is a straight line which can indicate the direction of incidence or direction of propagation of the light wave. Then at the point of incidence, again I will draw the normal. But here there are both are the transparent medium, means the light traveling from one transparent medium to another transparent medium. Then here I will take it as a rarer medium, and it is first medium, and its refractive index can be taken as mu1. Okay, and it is a denser medium, and it is a second medium. What is second medium? The medium in which refracted rays is there, that is called second medium, and its refractive index can be taken as mu2. Okay, then the speed of light in the rarer medium can be taken as v1, and the speed of the light in the denser medium can be taken as v2. Okay, so now the light traveling from which medium to which medium? Rarer medium to denser medium. In the denser medium, the light bends towards the normal. Okay, so the secondary wavelengths travel from B to C in the time tau. The secondary wavelength will be travel from B to C in the time tau. What is the distance traveled from B to C? What is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelength from B to C now? That is V1 into tau. V1 into tau, because the speed of light in the rarer medium can be taken as V1. But here the distance traveled in rarer medium only. The distance traveled by the secondary wavelength from B to C can be taken as V1 into tau. Again by using the definition of speed. Speed is nothing but distance traveled divided by time taken. Then the distance traveled is equal to speed into time taken. That gives the distance traveled. In the same time, this secondary wavelength will be traveled from A to E, but in the which medium? Denser medium. Okay, because it is already incident on the refracting surface. Then what is the time taken by the secondary wavelength to travel from B to C here? That is a tau. What is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelength from B to C now? That is V1 into tau. Then the secondary wavelength travel from A to E is V2 into tau. And time taken is same here, V2 into tau. Then by taking the V2 into tau as the radius and A as the center, again I will draw this sphere now. A as the center and V2 into tau as the radius. Draw this sphere. Okay, it is called secondary wavelength now. Then let us draw the tangent from C to E, means C to the sphere. This gives the refracted wavefront, and your angle of incidence is I, and it is the angle of refraction R. Okay, what is angle of incidence here? It is the angle between incident wavefront and the refracting surface. And what is angle of refraction here? It is the angle between the refracted wavefront and the refracting surface. Okay, then if we are going to use the ray concept now, what is angle of incidence? It is the angle between incident ray and normal. What is angle of refraction? It is the angle between refracted ray and normal. Okay, so once again listen here. AB is the incident plane wavefront, and A dash A will be incident ray, and BC is also incident ray. A dash A and BC both are incident rays, but AE is refracted ray. AE is refracted ray, and EC is refracted wavefront, and AB is incident wavefront. Now, then what is the refractive index of rarer medium? Mu1, and refractive index of denser medium mu2. The speed of light in rarer medium is v1, and the speed of light in the denser medium is v2. Okay, so what is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelength from B to C now? That is v1 into tau, because time taken is tau. What is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelength from A to E in the denser medium? So here the secondary wavelength travel from B to C in rarer medium, but here the secondary wavelength will be travel from A to E in denser medium. And what is the distance traveled here? That is a v2 into tau. Okay, so this is about the diagram. Then next we are going to do the Snell's law. Okay, now to explain the diagram once again. Okay, A dash A and BC are the incident rays, and A is the refracted ray. V1 and V2 be the speeds of light in rarer medium and denser medium respectively. mu1 and mu2 are the refractive indices of rarer medium and denser medium respectively. Okay. So next, AB is the incident plane wavefront, and it is the incident plane wavefront. Incident plane wavefront, and CE is the refracted plane wavefront. So in order to construct the refracted plane wavefront, we have to draw the sphere of radius v2 into tau and A as the center. Okay, we will get the refracted wavefront. So how to get the refracted wavefront here? We have to draw the sphere. So by taking the A as the center and v2 into tau as the radius, then we will get the refracted wavefront by drawing the tangent from C to E now. Okay, next. Again we are going to take the triangles here. From the triangles, first of all, we have to know what is BC here. BC is nothing but that is V1 into tau. The distance traveled by the secondary wavelet from B to C in the rarer medium. And what about AE now? AE will be the distance traveled by the secondary wavelet from A to E, but in which medium? Denser medium. And this can be taken as V2 into tau. Tau is nothing but tan theta. Okay. Next, from the triangles, I will take it as a 90 degree, and it is also 90 degree. Okay. From the triangle, first we are going to find the angle of incidence here. Okay. From the triangle ABC, what is sin I? What about sin I? Sin I is nothing but opposite side divided by hypotenuse. Here in the ABC, BC is opposite side to the I, and AB is adjacent side to the I, but AC is hypotenuse for the I now. Okay. Then sin I is equal to BC divided by AC. BC divided by AC. So what is BC here? BC is nothing but V1 into tau divided by AC. I will call this as equation number 1 because AC is unknown. Next, we are going to find the angle of refraction again by using sine function. Okay. So for the R, AE is the opposite side, then EC is the adjacent side, and AC is the hypotenuse. Okay. Then sin R is equal to means from the triangle. That is, I will take AEC. From the triangle AEC, sin R is equal to. What about sin R? Sin R is nothing but opposite side divided by hypotenuse. Opposite side is AE, and hypotenuse is AC. What about AE here? AE is nothing but V2 into tau. Okay, it is the distance traveled by the secondary wavelet from A to E in the denser medium. That is V2 into tau divided by AC. Then it is equation 2. Dividing equation 1 by equation 2, then we will get the Snell's law. Dividing equation 1 by equation 2. Dividing equation 1 by equation 2. Then we get sin I divided by sin R. Left hand side of equation 1 divided by left hand side of equation 2, that is sin I divided by sin R. That is equal to right hand side of equation 1 divided by right hand side of equation 2. What is the right hand side of equation 1? That is V1 into tau divided by AC. V1 into tau divided by AC. Then what is equation right hand side of equation 2? V2 into tau divided by AC. So tau by AC get cancelled. That is a V1 by V2. Okay. It is the Snell's law in terms of speeds of light in the both media. Now in terms of refractive indexes, already we know that how the speed is related to refractive index. So that is inverse. So that is mu2 by mu1, because we know that what is v1 by v2? v1 by v2 is nothing but n2 by m1. v1 by v2 is nothing but n2 by m1, because so v1 is inversely proportional to n1 and v2 is inversely proportional to n2. Means they are inversely related, because if the refractive index is high, then the speed is less. Okay, that is why they are related inversely. Okay, then this is called Snell's law of refraction of light. Means plane waves, means wavefronts also obeys the law of reflection. Sorry, refraction of light. This is called Snell's law. Snell's law of refraction of light. Okay. So this is about the refraction of plane waves by using the Huygens wave theory. Both derivations are very important. Reflection of plane waves and also refraction of plane waves by using the Huygens